Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for you today. This one is my typical show the max stats after a DLC. Usually it's from the perspective of a DPS. However, this DLC I am a pure controller build, so it'll be from the perspective of what you can expect with endgame controller stats with max gear and max skill points. So we'll kind of go through the build quickly there first, just so you can kind of get a baseline. 394 skill points. 205 into power, which I always recommend taking max power first, and then the rest of the skill points into VIT. And in terms of the DLC being done, I already have all of the feat points for this DLC already completed. Now on to the gear and mods. Obviously, replenishing adapter in the weapon as a controller. The OP head, I have VIT and power in all my yellows. The head socket, because I'm quantum and I have a 30-second cooldown on my supercharge, it's much more beneficial to me to run the supercharged head rather than like a power return mod or anything like that. The neck, obviously replenishing procs. Back, there's no good quantum, like there's accelerated time bubble, but I rarely use time bubble on my controller rotation unless I'm running double shield. So it's really not beneficial to have it on me all the time, so I just run violent breakout. The chest, obviously power efficiency, which is the best mod for a controller, and we kind of zipping along there. I kept this trinket just because I like the design better than the vendor one. I'll eventually get it, obviously, but it's like only an extra 50 VIT, the stat, so it's not like a deal breaker or anything. Obviously, all like the yellows of VIT and power and internal intervention. Like I said, there's the OP shoulders, the conch shell. Obviously, since it's a yellow socket, because it's based on a DPS piece of gear, which is nice because it's a yellow socket, so we get an extra VIT and power. And there's the breakdown of the stats on it. I'll leave that there. Some people think you can still, like the new OP face drops at 188. Now, with the old star mods, those weren't scaled up at all, so technically you can have like the most VIT by wearing the OP face with the Star VIT mod, but it's not, you lose too much other secondary stats as well as losing power, so there's really no point to run it. In terms of the stats, what you're looking at there, 44,000 health, I have 44,371 power. Might sitting at 22,672 in controller stance, and my VIT is 10,740. Now with that, I can pop over to the generator mods, as you can see it there. I have 4 power Atlanteans, 4 VIT Atlanteans, and then the 4 might Atlanteans. I run VIT in the affinities because, like I said in my previous controller video, I've reached that kind of cap where I don't need power anymore. So it's more beneficial for me to take VIT because I've kind of crossed that threshold. And obviously debuff efficiency and power strategist in there. In regards to the artifacts, I run the Parasite Power Harness, that's 120, as well as the Scrap of Soul Cloak, which is the supercharged one, that's at 120 as well. So what that does is, just by putting one debuff there, if I go down to my current effects, Parasite Power Harness, so basically every debuff I throw, I'm going to give an extra 859 power to the group and 143 precision. So if I do 1, 2, and 3 debuffs, there's going to be 3 in here. So Parasite Power Harness, Parasite Power Harness, and Parasite Power Harness. So basically, I'm giving out an extra, like, 20, almost 2,500 power to the group, increasing their power pool, as well as about, what's that, like 450 prec. And that's just with that harness. So basically what that means for me is even though my power pool is sitting at 44,371, realistically I'm always going to be maintaining a 3 debuff rotation because of my power pool. So actually, in actuality, I'm actually running with 47,000, almost like 40,500 power, and then the 10,740 VIT. And so this is my realistic raid stats, what I'm going to have always as a controller in terms of power pool. And what that means is I'm going to take the VIT Atlantean Soldier, which is 213 VIT. So if I take that, and this is in regards to Omega, and did that? Yeah. So in terms of that, That boosts my boost my VIT over to 11,079. And then if I take the Omega on top of that, if I'm fully buffed as a controller, we'll just do 1, 2, 3. So fully buffed, I'm sitting at 49,660 power and 11,427 VIT in a serious raid. If the group takes Omega and I take a VIT cola, that's realistically what I'm sitting at. So almost 50,000 power. The other thing I guess I mentioned, the base here, once those items eventually come back from being destroyed, this is just kind of like a sampling of the base items you're going to see in this new DLC. The banquet tables, the barnacles, that's the rock from the soul that you got to put in that shield wall, Atlantean weapons and spear rack, the pipes, oxygen tank. This is kind of neat. That's the suit that you got to wear, which also, this is the enhanced Spindrift style that I'm wearing. This is the little Mogwar pet thingy. That's the free member gift one. And I don't remember where I got this. You can interact with it? I don't know what it does. Sure. But that's it, guys.